that how do you reinstate your Agni? How do you understand that it does take your ability to burn the food properly in order to convert the thing? Because there are two types of digestion we talk about, isn't it? One is called as macro digestion and the other is called as micro digestion. So the macro digestion is governed by Jataragni. The micro digestion is governed by the Dhatuvagnis. How many days does the micro digestion take to complete? Dhatu Agni to create Shukra?
30 days.
Yeah, about 4 to 6 weeks. Okay, so it's about 4 to 6 weeks where the micro digestion is going on. The macro digestion should finish between 3 to 6 hours. You should be ready, feeling light and hungry again one more time. Okay, so in general, you're talking about Agni, which is your ability to convert the food into 3 to 6 hours, but we are also talking about in 36 days what you'll be creating. And the strength of your ability of your cellular fire will depend upon the Jataragni you have, and will depend upon the quality of the foods you eat and what kind of foods are you eating. I have a friend in Colorado, okay, he studied with me for 2 years when I was in the Maharishi movement. It's funny, he has an Ayurvedic practice which is very successful, okay. He's a nurse practitioner and he is having a very successful Ayurvedic practice. And what he does is, it's very, very simple. He has a whole Ama protocol and Agni enlivening protocol, just 2 pages. Just 2 pages. And depending upon what that person is, their body type is, he just gives them all the different ways to rebuild their Agni and purge their Ama. And in order to do that, he uses all the different enzymes combined with Ayurvedic herbs to do that. Okay? So he has all the different enzymes at his store, and he gives them bunch of digestive enzymes and combines them with all the different digestive Ayurvedic herbs and gives them all the different herbal teas and things to do. But his success rate to treat chronic disease is tremendously high. And I watched it over years. Okay, so people might have depression, people might have overweight, people might have arthritis, people might have everything, but your ability to increase your enzymatic activity, because even enzymes is considered to be a form of Agni, isn't it? It's a liquid pitta. So you are enlivening your Agni and you are allowing the methods, because an important point that all of you should understand, that even if you give someone a medicine, even if you give them Chyawanprash to eat, they have to digest it, isn't it? They have to metabolize it. It has to go to the cellular level where it has to correct the imbalance. Otherwise, it's just going to be another form of Ama. And I see people all the time where they are even unable to digest medicines. It doesn't matter how smart, how expensive, how organic or anything the medicines are. If at all, they are not going to go to the desired sites where they should be going, it's of no importance. In my clinic, we do these people with chronic fatigue and everything for these Myers cocktail, what they call it is high dose multivitamin mineral IV drips, isn't it? So you give them some IV with high dose multivitamins and minerals and everything, and they feel so good, as if daisies in the water for a few days. 3 days later they come back, oh, I think I need one more boost or things like that. They do it twice a week, once a week, things like that. But it's a pre-digested food directly going into your veins. Okay, it's going to last for some time, but it will not have that impact what you're looking at, which will come from the food, which is extracting the information, absorbing the nutrients, assimilating it, and rebuilding your body from it. You can't really live your life on crutches. It's good for people who are in ICUs or hospitals or anything like that. But in order for us to actually enliven people's Agni, the punchline is to lighten up their diet. Lighten up their diet, fill them with the things what they can handle, what they can digest, improve everything in their lifestyle so that they are able to extract the nutrients properly. They are able to open the pathways, channels, srotas, everything properly. And then you can hope that you can administer the right kind of herb and the herbal intelligence or the herbal formulations to reset whatever is going wrong up there. So, even when you want to treat anyone, it is impossible if you don't respect Kai Chikitsa. You have to enliven the Agni first before you do that. Even when people come from Panchakarma, what is the biggest side effect of Panchakarma? Low Agni. It is the worst side effect of Panchakarma. Because every time you are going to do all the massages and the bastis and everything, the Agni is going to be displaced. So you have to gradually enliven the Agni and make it really, really strong before you give them any rasayana. Otherwise it's of no use. I've seen people who get sick immediately after Panchakarma so commonly, so easily. Because they're already having a very flickering Agni to start with. And then you do the Panchakarma, they feel okay during Panchakarma, but after Panchakarma their Agni gets even more extinguished and they are really prone for catching a cold or having a disease or anything very quickly. So it is not to be done in a jiffy, it has to be done in a manner, because if you don't do the Amapachana before you do Panchakarma, it's very likely that you are going to create bigger problem for that person than anything else. I've seen people, it takes a year sometime for them to recover from one Panchakarma. And it is a state of weak Agni. So there is no barometer where you can send someone to the lab and find out what is the current level of their Agni. You have to do it in a very sound clinical setting to understand. You have to come up with questionings to understand that what is the state of their gastric fire and digestive fire. How do they digest food? What kind of food they can handle well, what kind of food they can't handle well, what are the things good and bad about their digestive ability, what trends and what changes they have experienced in last several months or a year to see how their Agni is behaving and things like that. And if you don't see those changes and if you don't really understand that, then you are just going to bombard that. I was recently awarded a prestigious award from European Association of Ayurvedic Professionals. Okay, and it was all the different Ayurvedic professionals who practice in Europe, and I had given a talk one time, and they actually presented me an award with innovative Ayurvedic practice in the West. And the reason why all these Ayurvedic doctors, it was coming from some of the people were from Banaras Hindu University and our top universities in India. The reason was they said that one thing what you do in your practice which is very unique is that you come up with these teas for people to give. Okay, so you call them as your home blend of Vata, Pitta, Kapha, lymph and weight loss and different kind of teas, and I give it to every person I see. Every person I see, I give them these teas to drink. So it's a liquid metabolic accelerator. What they drink every day before they take any medicines, bring changes or anything like that. And they say that drinking these teas and allowing their cellular fire and Agni to ignite and slowly start burning on its own is the best thing which we have kind of forgotten how to embrace into our practice. And so what I want to tell you one more time is that the herbs are important, the medicines are important, but if you don't have the pathways clear, if you don't have the Agni enough to burn those things, then it's not going to do the trick. Good. Any questions about anything? Yes, sir.
What are some of the ways you assess Agni in your practice?
Yeah, as I said, you have to have a thorough clinical understanding, asking questions basically. Okay.
What questions?
Yeah, if a question is that how quickly do you gain weight? Okay, it's a simple question that people say that, oh God, means if I eat a little bit more, I can gain weight very easily. Okay, there are people who say that, oh, it doesn't matter how much I eat, I can eat a whole lot, but I don't gain weight. Or there are people who will say that my digestive fire is so strong that if I don't get food at a proper time, I suddenly get hypoglycemic or lightheaded. Or they will say that I can get away with food for 24 hours. I don't even think about it. I'm busy with work. I don't even feel it. Okay. So there are things in which, in spite of how they say it and everything, you still have to understand the core basis, whether what they are talking about is an imbalance or they are talking about their normal Agni. So it is questioning is the first thing. The second part is comparison with their body weight and metabolic markers. It's everything to do with a BMI index, they call it, isn't it? Body mass index. So BMI index is a simple referral tool for your Agni itself. Whether you are able to eat the balanced meal and convert and maintain a body weight which is equivalent to your height and everything, and as per to your age also. It's a sign of a good Agni if at all you are within the markers of your BMI thing. If you are way above that, it is a sign of a real sluggish Agni. It is a sign where all your Agni has become dampened and weak. That's why you are eating more food and converting into more fat. Or you are eating even less food and converting into more fat, so you just need to create a sense of lightening. There's a term what is used in medicine nowadays called as rapid metabolic weight loss. Have you heard this? Rapid metabolic weight loss. So it's basically a starvation diet of minimal calories that you give, and so what it does is gradually starts allowing everything burning so quickly and so strongly that you start burning not only your unwanted fat but starts igniting some of the cellular fires into your body and start assimilating and extracting nutrients better in your food. So yeah, it's a good question, but those are all the different things. And it's the same with understanding Ama, understanding Agni, finding out about how their Agni is. There's a good book by Dr. Chopra, if you want to buy that. It's called as Perfect Digestion. It's a small booklet, okay? It's called as Perfect Digestion, and it has a list of all the questions that we ask for Agni. It is a question what we ask for Ama. It is a question what we ask about how do you select food. So I like the way they make these things in a very simplified versions for health professionals. So it's a simple tool, but it's a layman's kind of a term to understand. I don't think that you should use the same questions to ask everyone, because as you become a little bit more seasoned in your history taking skills, you should be able to design questions which is more specifically to that person and then understand more about it. Okay? So Agni is one. Understanding and respecting their Agni is very important before you embark upon treating any of the disease as such. Very question, yeah.
Can you give us some examples of some of the teas you were talking about? Like, do you mean like Jira water and stuff like that, or more? Is it you were talking about the teas?
Yeah, I prepare those teas myself, which I call them as Vata, Pitta, and Kapha tea. And what I do is it's a blend of different spices basically, and I combine them with certain herbs from changing seasons time to time. According to Vata, I add few things. According to Pitta, I add few things. For purification of lymph, I add, say, guduchi or musta or things like that in those teas itself. But they are based in spices. So some of them are not very heating spices, some of them are not very cooling spices. So general blend, which is more geared towards what kind of spices you would use for Pitta, what kind of spices you would use for Kapha and Vata as such. So it's a blend what I use, and many people have advised me to put them into tea bags and do it this way or that way, but I don't do that because I keep on changing it all the time. And many times designed for people, it could be even different. What I tell them to add, I sometimes tell them to drink with green tea, I tell them to drink it with maybe some ginger into it or things like that. So it gives me a little bit more freedom to add that. There's an Ayurvedic preparation which is called as Phanta. Phanta, Phanta. Do you know all these preparations called Hima, Kvata, Swarasa? You know this, no?
We do after herbology.
Was that? You did the herbology. You already had herbology class here?
Yeah, right after Dr. Ram.
With